Hey everybody, welcome to your virtual studio. Today we are going to go through about a 10-minute stretch with our stretching straps. Now if you don't have one of these, you can use a belt or a dressing gown strap or even a resistance band. Anything that's just going to give you a little bit of length. So you can use this either at the end of any workout or at the start of any workout, or just scattered throughout your day at any stage that you're feeling like you just need a good stretch. So let's get started. Make your way onto your back. And as you lay yourself down, just get yourself centered and aligned. Take your left leg nice and long, and then place the strap over the top of your right foot. As you settle in, notice that the head feels like it's relaxed, and the neck feels long and lengthened, and your spine starts to just unravel and find its own natural curve as it makes its way down the mat. You might notice that the back of the rib cage area is pressing into the floor. Maybe even the lower spine feels slightly imprinted, or maybe even a little bit lifted. Whatever just naturally happens, keeping that shape in your low spine. Ground the weight into the tailbone and down through the back of your hips. And as you settle yourself in, take a nice big inhale in through your nose. And take a nice big clearing exhale. And as you continue to move into your Pilates breath, just feel as though that breath begins traveling further and further down your body. So it doesn't just sit into the chest and then release. We want to draw it a little bit deeper to our diaphragm and then to our belly. And then as we move through that breath a little bit more effortlessly, we feel it travel its way up through the back of this right thigh, softening tension away of your hamstring or out of your hamstring, from the back of the knee, the calf, and even starting to release some tension through the Achilles and the ankle. So let's invite just a little bit of movement here. Give your right foot a big circle. See if you can mobilize that ankle joint by really inviting some generous sized circles in. Circle one way. And then when you feel it's time, start to circle the other way. Ironing out those tense spots, sticky spots, the place that want to resist that beautiful flow of movement. And then let's begin to curl our toes towards our shins, so towards your nose and then back towards the sky, so pointing the foot. Flexing the foot, curling the toes down and back, and then pointing the foot to the sky. So as you're moving through that stretch, you might even enjoy just backing off a little bit on the inhale and the point, and then maybe on the exhale and the flex, perhaps you tighten your own grip on the strap to bring the thigh a little bit closer to your chest. Perhaps, maybe not, but if it feels good for you and it feels like you're starting to move deeper through the stretch, just continue with a little bit of that movement, the forward and back motion. We're going to keep going for about 8 more counts. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to curl the toes right back into the shin. Create your weight, make it feeling nice and even through the back of the shoulders and the back of the hips. Keep your right hand holding the strap quite firmly. Move your left arm to the floor and then start to open the right leg so it falls all the way out to the right hand side. Now, as you're doing this, you want to try and avoid your left side lifting, making sure that it's not tipping over with the weight of this right leg. So if you do need 2 hands on the strap, by all means, do that to make yourself feel supported and balanced. If you don't need that left hand, keep it pressing down through the mat and through the floor so that you have this equal energy, this opposite energy from the right leg to the left side of the body. The left leg isn't just hanging out, but it's also pressing into your mat. Feel into your Pilates rectangle, so through the back of the shoulders and the hips, creating that rectangle, so shoulders, and then 2 straight lines to your hip bones. That's our Pilates rectangle, which we want to try and maintain here through these stretches. We're going to draw our breath in a little bit deeper now. As it moves through to the belly, see if we can hold it for just a moment and direct that breath so it moves to your pelvis, right into the front of the hips, right through the groin, particularly on this right side. Feel that breath as it expands further down the inner thigh, across your adductors on this right side. Breathe into it, using your exhales to release the tension. Continue to press the leg further from the center point of your body, holding for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's use our next exhale to guide this right leg back towards the center. And as it comes back through the middle, we're going to walk our hands a little bit higher up the strap, so keeping this tension on it. Keep your hip on the floor and then draw your leg on a diagonal line towards the left side of your body. So we're only going as far as we can maintain the hip staying glued to the mat. So as it starts to lift, we lose this sensation from the IT band, and it starts to become a low spine stretch, which is okay. However, our focus is here on this glute and thigh area, working along this outer line of our thigh. And you might even need to play around with the position of your foot. So you might need to pull the toes towards your shin, and it might increase the intensity of the stretch. Or maybe you need to point the toes to the sky to either back off or again, increase the intensity. Or maybe you might find that a little stretch along this outside edge of this ankle feels good. So you might even roll your right foot in towards the middle point of your body. Now, as you find that shape and as that tension starts to fade, let's continue to take the stretch a little bit further. Continue to drag it to the left side of your body. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly take your time now to draw the leg back into the center, and we're going to switch over. So the left one will come up and the right leg will lower. So the right leg starts to energize to the very bottom of your mat. And just take your time now to set up for the left side. You might notice that you've got a little bit of a pulsating energy running down the right side. And now maybe the left leg still feels a little bit asleep, not quite woken up yet, a little tight, a little bit sticky. So we just give ourselves that time and that chance for that breath to work through the body and then to work its way through the back of that left leg. So no need to rush into the deepest part of the stretch yet. We have time and we have our breath. So let's go ahead and find our Pilates alignment. Thinking of our toes in line with our knees, and our knees in line with our hips, and our hips in line with our shoulders. Noticing the shoulders are relaxed and the neck is long and the back of the head is melted into your mat. Perhaps you draw your chin slightly to your chest to create even more length in your neck. And as we bring attention to our Pilates breath, our inhale in through our nose and our exhale out through our mouth, we then allow that breath to continue working and flowing through our bodies. Feel it as it moves towards the diaphragm, the deeper breath towards your belly, to your pelvis, and then start to work its way up the back of this left leg. As it travels, it moves to the hamstring, softening the tightness and the tension here, into the back of the knee, down the calf, towards your Achilles and your ankle. And let's go ahead and invite some nice movement here. Let's start to circle. Circle any direction first. Just get that movement happening. And you might find that one direction of circles feels a little bit easier to move through than the other, which is totally normal. And lucky you if it feels just as easy both ways. So once you feel like you've had some good rolling going on, let's reverse the circle. Send it back the other way. Using your breath as you work through all of that mobility, through that range of motion. Inviting as much movement as we can. Perhaps the circle becomes a little greater now. And let's start to point the foot to the sky and then curl the toes towards the shin. Point the toes to the sky and then curl the toes to the shin. As you point, you might back off a little bit. And then as you flex the foot, you might tighten the stretch or deepen the stretch. So you can move into whichever one you feel more comfortable with. You can explore different movements if that feels good. We're going to stay for 8 more counts. 7, 6, and 5. 4 more. 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to curl these toes right back into the shin. Create your anchor. Take your right arm towards the floor. Slowly start to open the left leg off to the side. So draping out to the left, starting to increase the space here through the groin, through the inner thigh. Bringing attention to the right side of our body. So we're trying to, again, avoid this lifting or this tipping action. So the right shoulder blade stays grounded, the right hip stays anchored, and also your right thigh. So bring the energy there. Stretch out across the thigh bone and over the knee and ground at the heel. Now with the thigh out of the way of your belly, start to draw the breath in a little bit deeper. Feel how the belly expands now. And then feel how the belly falls with your exhale and fade the tension at the same time. If you do need the support of your right hand, just bring it in, but keep focusing on the shoulder blade staying flat. Feel that tension fading with every exhale breath. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your time now to float this left leg back towards the center, making sure that you're sitting back in your Pilates rectangle. Let's continue to walk the hands up a little bit higher now. And with our exhale, we're going to draw this leg across to our right hand side. So across the center point. So think of the center point as your nose through to your sternum, your belly button, and then straight down the middle of your pelvis. So as we guide this leg towards the right, keep in mind that your left hip needs to stay grounded to really get the stretch to move to the outer thigh and the IT band. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you notice the stretch is too strong, play around with the position of your foot. Or if you notice that the stretch isn't quite where you want it to be, perhaps change this positioning of your foot. Flex it, point it, roll it inwards, wherever you feel you need it. Holding there, 5 more counts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back into the center, and we'll take our time now to release our left leg to the floor, popping your strap off to the side. Release your hands down beside you, ground your feet into the mat, both knees face the sky, and let's start to move into some hip rolls. Just bringing some spinal movement here. Articulate the spine, create space, maintain your neck staying nice and long and lengthened. Your head will stay put, won't move here as you're rolling the spine up and down. Keep drawing the belly in. Bring energy into the back chain of your body. And we're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll your tailbone all the way down to the floor and grab your knees and give them a big hug